The movie begins with a man named John Wick, who is living through the worst days of his life. We see him grieving the loss of his wife, Helen, who has just passed away from a terminal illness. John is completely broken, drifting through his empty, modern house like a ghost. But Helen didn't leave him entirely alone. A final gift arrives at his door, a small beagle puppy named Daisy. Helen arranged this before she died, leaving a note telling John that he still needs something to love, so he doesn't lose his way. For the first time in a long time, John smiles. Daisy becomes his tether to humanity. They spend every moment together, eating, sleeping. One day, while refueling his car, a group of Russian gangsters pulls up. The leader, an arrogant young man named Isf, takes a liking to John's Mustang. He asks how much John wants for it. When John refuses to sell, Isf insults him in Russian, not realizing that John understands every word. That night, the unthinkable happens. Isf and his crew break into John's home. They catch him off guard, beating him brutalized with a baseball bat. But they don't just steal his car. In a cruel act of senseless violence, Isf kills Daisy, the puppy, right in front of John before knocking him unconscious. John wakes up to find his last connection to his wife gone. He buries Daisy in the backyard. But this time there is no crying. The sadness in his eyes is replaced by a cold, terrifying focus. The beast has been awakened. Meanwhile, Isf takes the stolen Mustang to a chop shop run by a man named Aurelio. But when Aurelio sees the car, he freezes. He knows exactly whose car this is. He punches Isf and throws him out, refusing to touch the vehicle. John visits Aurelio to track down the thieves. Aurelio tells him the truth. The boy who stole his car and killed his dog is Isf Tarasov, the son of Vigo Tarasov, the head of the massive Russian crime syndicate in New York. Vigo calls Aurelio, angry that his son was disrespected. But when Aurelio explains what Isf did, stealing John Wick's car and killing his dog, Vigo goes silent. Vigo confronts his son, explaining exactly who he just messed with. He tells Isf that John Wick wasn't just an assassin. He was the one you sent to kill the boogeyman. He calls John Baba Yaga. Vigo tells a story of how he once saw John kill 3 men in a bar, with nothing but a pencil. At John's house, the decision is made. He takes a sledgehammer to his basement floor. Under the concrete, he unearths a trunk from his past life. Inside, there are stacks of gold coins and an arsenal of weapons. John Wick is officially back. Vigo tries to call John to reason with him, but John doesn't say a word. Knowing diplomacy has failed, Vigo sends a hit squad of highly trained assassins to John's house to kill him before he can start his revenge. This is where we see why John is a legend. The hit squad breaches his home, but John dismantles them with surgical precision. He uses a mix of judo and tactical shooting, often called gun fu, to eliminate every single intruder without breaking a sweat. After the fight, a police officer knocks on the door due to the noise. He sees the dead bodies in the hallway. Instead of arresting him, the officer simply asks, "You working again, John?" It shows just how much respect and fear John commands in this city. John heads to New York City and checks into the Continental, a hotel that serves as neutral ground for the criminal underworld. Here, no business can be conducted. He pays with a gold coin, the currency of this secret society. He meets Winston, the owner of the hotel. Winston warns John that if he goes after Isf, there is no turning back. He also reminds him, no killing on Continental grounds, or he will be excommunicated. John tracks Isf to a nightclub called the Red Circle. This is one of the best action sequences in the movie. John moves through the bathhouse and the dance floor, taking out guards with incredible efficiency while the music pounds in the background. He gets close to Isf, but Vigo's head of security, Kirill, intervenes. John is injured and thrown over a balcony, allowing Isf to escape. John barely makes it back to the hotel alive. Back at the hotel, Vigo puts a $2 million bounty on John. A fellow assassin named Ms. Perkins breaks the hotel rules and sneaks into John's room to kill him. Luckily, John's old friend Marcus, who was hired by Vigo, is watching from a nearby roof. Marcus fires a warning shot to wake John up. John subdues Perkins and forces her to reveal where Vigo keeps his private stash of money. He leaves her in the custody of another assassin, Harry, and heads to a church where the Russian mob hides their wealth. John destroys Vigo's leverage by burning millions of dollars in cash and blackmail material stored in the church vault. When Vigo arrives to inspect the damage, John ambushes him. However, John is outnumbered and captured. Vigo ties him to a chair and mocks him. This leads to the movie's most famous line. John says, "People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back." Vigo leaves John to be executed, but Marcus intervenes again, using his sniper rifle to kill the guards and free John. John chases Vigo down and finally kills Kirill, the bodyguard who beat him earlier. Vigo, terrified, gives up his son's location to save himself. John heads to the safe house where ISF is hiding. He effortlessly snipes the guards and walks in. ISF tries to run, pleading for his life. But John doesn't do a monologue. He doesn't hesitate. He simply shoots ISF dead. The revenge for the puppy is complete. But it's not over. Vigo finds out that Marcus helped John and kills him for the betrayal. John hears about this and realizes he has one last target. John confronts Vigo at the docks. It's a brutal, messy fight in the rain. They use cars as weapons before it turns into a fistfight. Vigo stabs John, but John forces the knife deeper into himself just to break Vigo's arm. Owen finally overpowers and kills Vigo. Battered and bleeding heavily from a stab wound, John stumbles away. He watches a video of Helen on his phone, finding the strength to keep moving. He breaks into a nearby animal clinic to treat his wounds. While stapling his stomach shut, he sees a pit bull puppy scheduled to be put down. And that is the story of John Wick. If you've reached this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you don't miss the next part.